we had to rig it. Yeah, it was rigged, and we had to tap the sides, hold this. Don't move it. Don't touch it. If you touch it, it shuts off. Like what are we doing here? We got
top 5 going down.
Welcome back.
Top 5 worst working conditions. Let's get into it.
Right now, number 1, in no particular order.
We don't have number 5.
Hey, I just say at the very end, we just say, hey, we got 4. You tell us what we'll pin the best one in the top.
Or I'm sure, because we always have extra ones, we'll just add it on the bottom. One of the conditions I do not like working under is going to be time frame. If somebody says, hey, I have to be at so-and-so by this time, I have no problem going into the job before.
That, and when you do give a time, let's say, when do you be done? Oh, 2 hours. Estimation, hey, this is going to take 2 hours. But usually when you give a time when you're going to be done, that's when something goes wrong in the detail or something's worse than expected. Yeah. Like, oh, man, and that's kind of a shitty conversation to have, like, you know what I mean? Like, makes you feel like you're not on point. You told me 2 hours, and you said now you're taking an hour more.
Yeah.
That's
And
like this not knowing your business.
Yeah, and this could be very, very problematic because people have appointments. You're, kind of like being late. It's one of those things where there's a level of, you lose a level of credibility in professionalism. It's like, well, now you're off of schedule.
Yeah. From
the client's perspective, they're looking at you like, okay, now you're out of schedule. Now you're off schedule, and now this is messing with my time because I have things to do at this time. And but again, I don't like working under time restraints at all. Like, I like the client to be able, and that's the beauty of having our business model the way it is. We're referred. People know we're going to do good work. For instance, this week we did a touch-up. Something I thought was going to take. Well, how long does a touch-up usually take? A touch-up job?
30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's going to go somewhere. These were the deepest scratches we've ever encountered. This was very difficult paint to work with. He insisted we go to him to do it because he was working from home. This was a case study for us because I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get the result. I was actually proud afterwards, looking back on it, in seeing the results that we did, because during the time, it was one of those jobs where it's just like, oh man, like I don't, almost when you're starting to doubt yourself because it's a territory you're getting into that you haven't done yet. So when I finished it up, I was expecting that job to be done in an hour, maybe 2 hours at the least, because it was a lot of damage. But we ended up being there, three and a half hours?
4 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah, and that's fully concentrated hours. Like, I'm in there sanding, I'm working. There's stuff on edges. I'm touching up, resanding. It's a process. Even knowing I didn't give the client a time frame, even then I felt kind of like we got to get out of here. And it's not always from our end. Sometimes the client comes out and says, oh, hey, by the way, I have to do this. Or they'll drop off the car and say, oh, by the way, can I pick it up first thing tomorrow morning? If we have a car in the studio, I don't like to finish the car in one day. Like, I prefer it to be one day of just work and then the next day of just finishing. Like, that ideally is what I like to do. If I could have a car for 3 days, even better. Because we're doing full reconditioning. So if we're doing paint dent removal, if we're doing touch-up, if we're doing any type of re-dyeing, if we're doing any type of trimming of fabrics, anything real intricate, the emblem removal and polish, things like that, if we're going all in, I want that car for a few days. Like, I would prefer to have it for 3-4 days and know that thing is going to be top notch. There's no issues with it. But again, not everybody's going to be able to give you the luxury of that much time to have their vehicle. But it's nice, guys, when the clients trust you, they don't even care about the time. They pay you up front. They don't even, you guys take care of everything. I'll see you guys next time. That's what I like. But it sucks when a client comes out and says, oh yeah, by the way, I need my car in 2 hours. and you know it's not going to be a 2-hour job. And what I like to do in those situations is kind of show them where we're at so far, and then they see the level of work and they're like, oh, okay, you know what, I'll figure it out. Because they don't want you to stop once they see how much progress you've made, and especially if it's a big difference. Like if you're polishing and you get an area and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to be done all the way, and they see that section, they're like, oh no, you keep doing that. So yeah, time restraints are not fun to work under.
Under time too, when they're transitioning, when you got two vehicles and they got to use both for whatever reason. So like, hey, I do this one first, then I got to go this one. That just, it messes up the whole rhythm because you can't get a rhythm. You know what I mean? Yeah. You gotta stop, do the exterior, do the interior, switch out. Yeah, that's all under time.
It is rough. That's one major advantage of having a studio or a workshop, or it's like any kind of shop, is you don't have to worry about any outside stuff. There's not gonna be anything disrupting you. Right. Like obviously your operation, your phone rings, another client comes by, whatever, those things happen. But as far as the car needing anything, like you don't have to worry about that. Nobody's going to come and know, oh, I forgot to get my so-and-so out of my, can be rough. To me, it feels like pressure, and I don't want pressure when I'm working. I want things to be done on our time. We enjoy doing what we do and the way that we do it in our method. I like to have that nice window of time. So let's get into the second one.
Second one for me, man. Number 2 will have to be working while you're sick or injured. Oh, it's just when I
in the studio.
Get that thing.
Oh, I keep kind of seeing it.
When I hurt my ankle, and you're hobbling on one leg back and forth, what I mean? It just slows everything down. It's not
terrible. It's terrible.
That's when I wish I worked with a man.
Yes.
That's when I wish I worked 9 to 5.
Just hearing you talk about it.
Call in sick for 3 days. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm hearing you talk about it, and now it's bringing me to the last time I had to do it. If you're polishing, if you're working like on a Corvette, or you're working on anything low, and you don't have a lift, it's gonna be brutal. When you're in pain, doing anything fucking sucks. Like, it's always when you're in pain when the most difficult of the job arises. So you're like, why does this shit got to be today?
It's just a problem. Anytime you have a problem, that all the other problems just
everything is it's all. But remember when we had to go out to San Francisco?
Oh, man.
We were highly recommended. So a client, called us up, said, hey, I need you to take care of my Porsche. Just got it out the shop. We went up to San Francisco. Sal's not feeling too hot. I can kind of tell on the way there, he was kind of like not feeling good. And this was a few years ago. And we get to the house and we start working on the car. Small little 911, super clean. Sal's doing the interior, I'm polishing and all.
Trying to do the interior, man. It was. So it took every ounce of energy everything was just draining. The car wasn't dirty, man. It was a show quality vehicle. It was a Porsche. Of course, it's lowered, so anything that you do in that car, you're on your knees. Yeah. So and just the up and down. So I'm forgetting stuff. I'm not prepared, so I have to keep walking out. He's polishing, so I can't say, "Can you get?" Headache. No energy, probably fever.
Sweating, you were sweating a lot.
Man.
And it was a cooler day. But it was that's a day. So that job should have taken us, if we did that job tomorrow, how long do you think that job would take?
Hour and a half, easy.
And over there, how long did it take us? It probably took us like 4 or 5 hours to do that car. It turns out that was when right before the COVID jumped off. So he had COVID. Like he didn't, but we didn't know that he just thought that he was getting sick. And then a few weeks later, remember I had it?
Yeah.
And you were in the other position. And that's a good thing about working with two people, because if you're working by yourself, you can't. That's when accidents happen. That's when you hurt yourself. You don't want to put yourself in that type of situation, because now you're a liability not only to yourself but to the client's property. Like, hey brother, I got to take it easy today on this, and you just pick up the slack for one another. But if you're alone,
Hey, no, picking up nothing.
No.
Man.
Well, try doing like an RV or something and hurt. Oh, geez. Boat? Can you imagine doing a boat hurt? Trying to get in and out of the boat?
Just doing the boat period. So I hate boats. RVs, same thing. I hate them. Hate them all, man. And doing them sick, oh, man, you're getting like 40%.
Yeah.
You're getting like 40% for me.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I just washing.
This is another reason why we always control the type of work we do. When you get to that point in your career, guys, we're so specific with all the terms that we do. You know, like we don't have the time constraints anymore. Like the things that we're talking about here are things that we don't do anymore because we
identified them and said we don't want to do that anymore.
These things have changed our business now. So you could imagine with us always. So just imagine every day you go to work, you know you're going to be able to perform your best. That's the difference between us not working in these conditions and working on our terms. Because we know that just ensures that much more that we're going to take care of the car every single time. But if Sal's sick,
working with a stomach ache,
yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
You know what happened? You got a stomach ache
or a headache,
man. Yeah, been over.
Like Sal had exposure the other day.
Woo.
We were wrapping up, but
yeah, that was bad. That was a horrible feeling.
Yeah, and Sal usually doesn't mess with like the heavy acids and stuff, but this particular chemical that we've been using, it's really strong. I would just recommend using a respirator if you're going to mess with certain solvents.
Some heavy joints.
Yeah. So being sick or injured, again, your liability to the property, your liability to yourself, your liability to your shop, your liability to your team. Your customer service more than likely is not going to be exceptional. There's going to be things you're probably going to be a little bit shorter with your words.
Oh, I guess one of those things that you can't help, but you could take measures into preventing them, like for being sick or injured. Obviously, being sick, you want to stay healthy, eat right. Yeah. Being injured, like we're not playing turkey bowl. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Those days are done. We ain't playing no pickup ball games anywhere.
Yeah, we're not doing dumb shit we shouldn't be doing.
We're not jumping off the top of the tailgate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I guess how we could do to countermeasure those.
Yeah, we see guys doing wild stuff.
Getting some good sleep,
exercising. So all that stuff. Trust me, because we're working a physical job. Whether you're in a shop, mobile, if you're working on vans, if you're working on boats, airplanes, you're doing physical work. And a lot of detailers, once you get in for a couple years, they realize, oh, my body can't take this, or my body's not doing too well. If you're not taking care of yourself, sick and injured, you're just asking for that.
You're losing money at that point.
Yes.
You might as well just throw a towel in.
Yeah. You got to take care of your body because your body is your money maker. Whether you're management, whether you don't even got to be touching the car, but if you're the one calling the shots and you're sick or injured,
doing that in pain.
Yeah, you're probably not. Your decision making is probably not going to be the best. So number 3 is going to be one that not necessarily. Well, it is a condition, but it's a condition that every time I do it, make the exception of working under this condition, it always backfires. Pretty much 95% of the time. And that's working at a discounted rate. Those conditions are horrific because...
I already know cats are in like, that's why I don't give discounts. Yes. You're right. That's why I don't be giving no discounts.
Yes. And that's probably the better way to go for most people is to not give any discounts because you don't have to deal with any of the riffraff that comes with it after. I feel like once you give a discount, you're starting to blur lines. You're starting to, you're giving a little leeway for a lot of things.
Yeah, you're doing that.
You're opening it up you're losing control is what you're doing. So you're opening it up a little bit more to the client saying, yes, I'll take that. So now the client, in a sense, what I get is the client feels a little bit more inside of the job.
A little more, yeah. Since you lose power, someone's got to gain that power.
Yes, like they feel a little bit more entitled to kind of come through and say, oh, okay, so you're going to get that too? Or you're good, it's like, almost like you're inviting them to like, oh yeah, come over, see this, come, or I don't know what it is. As soon as a discount is applied there, it's almost like there's always a problem that go along with it. We gave a discount this week, remember? We gave a very, very small discount for somebody booking like that day.
Maybe we just change the verbiage. Instead of discount, we just come up with a different phrase where we don't say discount.
What's that?
We just keep it at a range. We don't say discount. Yeah, we can range it down lower. Just maybe it's a mental thing.
Yeah,
it
could be.
The word discount just brings, like, you don't like anything that discount shoes,
discount furniture, discount mattresses.
Yeah.
That always sounds nasty.
Yeah, so let's just change the word. Like, let's change the word. Just get that out of our vocabulary.
Yeah,
get that energy away.
Almost like
because discount is negotiating. You give a discount to negotiating. We like to negotiate.
I feel like once you give that discount, you ever watch like those old boxing movies where like as soon as somebody gets in, like, oh, he tastes that, he got a taste for that blood. like they're gonna go in. Like now they're just like on the attack, and that's what it feels like. It feels like the client comes in, gets a little bit more involved, a little too involved. And then they start nitpicking things. And then, of course, every single time I've given a discount, there's a very thorough walkthrough at the end with the client. And it's not the walkthrough we do. It's the walkthrough where they come out when you're not even done and they're asking you questions. Yeah. Oh, are you guys going to get this? Are you going to get this? That doesn't happen to us very often. It only happens to us if we're giving a discount. And it happens to us once in a while if it's our first client, because a lot of our clients are really, really particular about their things. So every once in a while, it'll be somebody like that. But usually within about 5-10 minutes of them seeing the way we operate, they're like, okay, these guys are legit, and then they'll go back inside. Or sometimes they'll be here at the studio kind of, before they, the old car that was dropped off, the 1941, whatever, he kind of was like, okay, well, what are you guys gonna do? I was like, we're not working on it right now.
Lingering high.
Yeah. It was like a 1944 vehicle, original paint, original lacquer, and it was a beautiful car. But he kind of like was hanging around, and I told him I had to let him know. I said, we're not working on the car today. Like, we're not gonna work on it till tomorrow. We may work on it this evening late, but because he wanted it again, that was one where he wanted it by, I think he dropped it off a Wednesday and he wanted it by a Friday, and we already have a booked schedule. So we were like, if you're gonna have to pay the premium for this and make the exception of and it's gonna be done by your day, but I don't know what time, but it'll make that deadline. But we were able to do that.
No discounts.
But I do negotiate. Man, number 4 could range.
We got
environmental factors. This is one that is almost non-negotiable. There's some that are non-negotiable. I've had clients move their vehicles, and this one's primarily mobile jobs, like you mobile detailers. The environmental factors, we're talking about everything from weather to the surface that you're working on, location. What's another one? Space. There's a whole access. There's a lot of different things that fall under the umbrella of environmental factors when working. And for us, if those criteria are not met that we need, we just don't do the job. We've had clients move their car from one town to another, like 45 minutes away, to go somewhere where the working conditions are going to be better for us, more suited for us. And I have no problem asking a client. If a client says, hey, my car's here, I say, okay, we're going to need to get your car to a place. You're going to have to drop it off here at the studio, or we're going to have it somewhere else where we have adequate space. It's enclosed, whatever, depending on what's going on with the vehicle. We're not going to be out there working under conditions that are going to in any way impact the level of work that we're doing.
Yeah. It's kind of like when the people were like, when you, any service you get, they say, the customer always says, you yourself say, what do you need from me? I need them. I'm gonna have the music on. I'm gonna need a 6-pack. You know what I mean? They go down the line, and you say, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
everything that you need is right there in that corner.
Yes. And that's establishing terms on the job that you're doing.
Yeah,
You know, like if
both parties involved, it's in their best interest. Because
if you're getting a pool installed, obviously they're going to need access to the backyard.
no dogs, you know what I mean?
Yes, there's going to be certain things they're going to need access to a restroom.
No dog poop on the floor, like all that.
Yeah, they need a clear working space. There's there's any service that's coming to you, even for boats. I won't do boats on the water that are docked. I will do interiors like that, but we're not trying to lean over the boat. I saw a guy inside the water polishing a boat the other day. He was in the water, like waist high in the water with the polisher polishing. Like you like
risking it all right there.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. He had the old fisherman swamp little things, but still, you're not gonna catch me out there doing that. That's just me. That's me. You know, there's nothing wrong, but like for me, those conditions are not working for me.
I guess these are our conditions. You guys set your whatever.
Yeah, you set your conditions. It's your business. If you don't mind it, maybe if I was younger, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things now where it's like, no, I'm cool.
Yeah, when I was younger, I could work in the heat a little bit.
Yeah,
more,
I didn't. Yeah.
Not in the cold though.
Yeah, we don't even work on gravel. We don't work on gravel or dirt surfaces. If we're doing any mobile jobs, no. All of our lines are expensive. We spend a lot of money on our extension cords, lines, electrical, air hose, all that stuff. Like those are expensive things. And we also keep our things clean. We have standards that we maintain in our mobile rig. When you go and do a job on dirt and everything gets muddy, not only are you having to spend, you have the wear and tear, and some of it can become permanent damage, like some dirt and stuff won't come off. And then on top of that, the time that you have to spend cleaning it to get it back to standard, unless you just don't care. But I don't want anything going back into nothing goes back into the rig dirty, period.
Well, yeah, and then you're introducing just the vehicle getting dirty again, just from in and out.
Yeah.
Working twice.
Yeah.
Hey, one that sucks, working on a hill. And up and down, like you don't think that's bad, but you know me going up and down that hill after a while, it's just like this is why am I so tired today?
And those doors, you can't hold open. Yeah.
Same thing with working on a curb, next to a curb, like going up and down that curb. And we worked on that car that had the bullet wound in it, and I was like, bro, I'm tired. We just did that little Honda. I mean, I'm tired. And then he goes, the curb, going up and down that curve, and that's when I was a little bigger too. So.
You don't
my knees was hurting.
Yeah, you don't realize
old man stuff.
You don't realize how much that makes a difference. But then this is why we track stuff. When we track stuff, we're like, okay, what are the common factors in all of these that suck? You know, we did one the other day, and what was one of the common factors? The heat. On all of those days, Sal, it was 100 plus. Like, what are we doing out there? Like, no more. So we get rid of those, the working conditions. And it's not when we say that, most people think, oh, you're just going to leave all that money behind, or, oh, you're just going to tell the client no.
Oh, the money's there. We just get it a different day.
Yeah. Or at a different time. This is through effective communication. Because if you don't have if your communication is not on point, it's going to come off to the client like you don't want to do the job. It's going to come off like you need all this stuff done, and they're going to be questioning whether or not you're even capable of doing the job right. Because you are putting more work in their hands. Now they have to do something. Now they have to accommodate a time. Now they may have to transport people. We had a job where we told them, okay, only X amount of cars at a time and per day. They had to rearrange their whole schedule to get people there to do things, in alignment with what our terms were. That's the possibilities you could have for your business. Even if someone's dropping something off here, we're able to give a lot of leeway So say a client needs something by a certain day, say, okay, well, I need you to drop it off in the studio. I do have other jobs throughout the week, but on the times in the evening or before work or after work, whatever we have in the meantime, we're going to come back to the studio and take care of your car. So that's also a way that we're able to adjust and really be flexible for the client and get an extra money that otherwise we wouldn't be able to. So that's why I kind of like the hybrid system of bring mobile and having shop capabilities, because there's a lot of shit you can do. You can really make a lot of extra money. Even if you're just working, even if you're just going to another shop, like, hey, brother, can I rent this space for the next week? Mm-hmm. I'll shoot you a couple $100 or a few $100, whatever, or I'll give you X amount of the percentage of the job. Let me just keep the car here, and I'm gonna need this little section over here. You can probably go to any body shop or any detailer around. Who's gonna say no to that? Or just go over to shout out to Revibe, find a place like Revibe. He's a detail shop that offers a rate to where you can go in there and take care of the car, do everything you need.
Shout out to Revive, grand opening, the Revive Center, September 22nd.
Yes.
Where's that?
Union City.
Yes.
Union City, September 22nd.
Tomorrow for us.
Yeah, as of shoot day, September 22nd, Union City, California, Revive Auto Detailing Center and Lounge, grand opening. Mm-hmm. We'll be in the house, 10:30 to 12:30. You're making your job a lot harder. There's ways to make it a lot easier that you're not doing. If you're not taking advantage of communicating and setting terms, then you're probably working on a lot of terms that are unfavorable for you, because most of them are on mobile jobs. So what's number 5?
Number 5, I would say another horrible working condition, which is when you're working with something that's broke.
Ooh, good one.
I mean?
Good one.
Broke.
Nice.
We don't like to. We replace all those things, but stuff happens where this is what pump sprayer broke. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming out weird. The filter's clogged or something. You're just over there just wasting time. Like, why is this doing this? Like, this is broke. We got to fix this. Horrible.
And people do it.
You know what I mean?
When we
the damn pressure washer.
Yeah.
The pressure washer broke. It was making this horrible loud
and it
sound.
It just would not stop.
It was still working, but it wasn't working like how it should be without making this horrible, annoying sound.
We went too long without it too. Even the steamer. Remember the steamer? Chief Steamer number 1. We have 2 Chief Steamers, but the reason we had to buy one was because I had to send it in to get done. But I was like, you know what?
Oh, we had to rig it. Yeah, it was rigged, and we had to tap the sides, hold this. Don't move it. Don't touch it. If you touch it, it shuts off. Like what are we doing here? We can fix this.
I said that I just need to buy a new one. What am I doing? But yeah, like it was like whenever it got time to steam, I'd cross my fingers and hope that it would warm up. It worked. Yeah. It's almost one of those things, like when it gets going, it's like, oh, it's going. I got to get all that, The phone cannon not coming out right, you know what I mean? You got an O-ring missing, that's flying everywhere. It's just fly. Yeah, those are conditions you don't need to be working under. Just fix that shit. It can be really, really annoying and just time-consuming over and over and over. I would even say putting worn-out towels in that category.
Yeah, worn out or forgetting towels, those things, it's just it'll make you hate this job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, I don't want to be part of that.
I see all you guys out there with the broken tornadors.
That's another one. We're guilty.
And I feel you, because we do the same thing. It's like, I'll get it.
It's
still doing it. It's not. But it's like, how long are you going to do that? And it's probably getting worse and worse by the day. Now you're just getting used to it.
Yeah.
Now you're just getting used to it working like shit. So it's not even like the big boy. How many fucking holes did that big boy have in the hose?
I don't know how that's doing. That's how strong that thing is. All the holes in it, it's still blowing.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of pinholes in it, and it's like shooting out air everywhere. There has to be at least 7, 8 little tiny holes, but you're losing. It's
not working at its peak performance.
No, definitely not. And we went a long time running without that without that being switched out. What else do we have? That was
batteries not charged all the way. Like you ran out of batteries. Like, well, again,
when the batteries are getting old, They just don't hold the
we
charge.
have all these things fixed, but they happen. You know what I mean? You try to limit those, but yeah, these things happen. Like, oh man, batteries went out early.
Yeah.
Shoot, it changes the rhythm. All these things change the rhythm and getting things done in a timely manner. Hey man, let us know what your guys think broke you on the job, or something that you had to make do with.
Yeah, or any conditions that you guys hate working under that you guys know are problematic. Let us know, because we like hearing the stories, man. The comments, I feel like, shout out to you guys, because the comments are getting better and better. Like, it's entertaining to us, and we're loving it. And I know you guys are like in the top 5, so we're going to keep it coming for you guys. So thank you guys again for tuning in to another top 5 undesirable conditions. Let us know your conditions. And remember, like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you guys on the next one.